Florence, small and immense at the same time, is an open-air museum grown more beautiful over the centuries. A treasure chest enclosed by ancient walls that safeguard grandiose masterworks of art and architecture so close that you can almost touch them. From its magnificent position, the city sits at the feet of the Apennine Mountains, in a valley that opens onto the Arno Plain. Its buildings and monuments tell stories of art, war, and life. Its streets, today crowded with tourists, are the same ones through which Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Dante, and many other of the most illustrious minds of all time threaded their way. If you choose to fly, there are 3 airports serving Florence, and they vary according to which airline you use. Florence's airport Amerigo Vespucci is 5 kilometers from the city center. It's connected to all the major Italian cities as well as to numerous European destinations. There's public bus service connecting the airport to the center of town. The airport most used by all of Europe is Pisa's Galileo Galilei, where almost all the low-cost flights arrive. There's a shuttle service that brings you to Florence in 70 minutes. Be careful, however. Traffic can be truly intense on the motorway between Florence and Pisa, thus creating the possibility of being late and missing your flight. Probably the best solution is to reach Florence by train, using the airport station. The 3rd airport is that of Bologna, about an hour's drive away. Again, be careful because some low-cost airlines, when they say Bologna, they actually mean the airport at Forlì, and that's really far away. Florence is at the center of the major highway and rail junctions in Italy. The choice of arriving by train is without doubt the ideal one. For train schedule information, we suggest you utilize the Italian Railroad website. If you arrive by car, it's a good idea to book in advance a hotel with a parking lot. Florence's traffic is horrendous, parking is difficult to say the least, and you can't get into the historical center by car. When you plan your trip, keep in mind that in the summer, Florentine temperatures can reach 40 degrees centigrade, and in the winter they can drop below 0, even if snow is a fairly rare occurrence. From a climatic point of view, the months between March and September are the best, even though the city is overrun with tourists and school trips in that period. Florence is a city rich in places to discover, but its dimensions are actually quite small. If time is short, 1 or 2 days are enough to explore a large part of the city's marvels. If you only have a short time and the trip around the city needs to be essential, you can dedicate the first day to a long walk through the streets and piazzas, and the second day to the Uffizi Gallery. If you have more days to spend, you can take advantage of doing some sightseeing in the towns around Florence. Choose according to your tastes from the infinite number of the more or less famous places Tuscany has to offer. Pisa, Siena, Fiesole, Lucca, Volterra, and San Gimignano are all close by. Or visit the vineyards of Montepulciano and the Sienese Chianti. Arriving at the Santa Maria Novella train station already means diving into art, just steps away from the beauties of the city center. Florence can quite easily be visited on foot or by public transportation. The various lines, including those that travel outside the city, you'll find along the side of the station. So, with all logistical problems being solved, let the tour begin! It's absolutely indispensable to remember that nearly all the museums in Florence, as in the rest of Italy, are closed on Mondays. Visiting hours are often quite different, and there is no single ticket that can be used for all the museums. The Uffizi Gallery is the busiest building in the entire city, remaining open at certain times of the year until 10 o'clock in the evening. The lines to get in are as endless as the ones for the Galleria dell'Accademia, which contains Michelangelo's David. It is very much worth the extra few euros to book an entry ticket in advance if you want to avoid standing long hours in line, fighting against time, other visitors, and often even traffic. Above all during summer, when you have to add the burning sun to the endless wait. All of Florence's state museums are managed by the same association. It's possible to reserve your tickets at the ticket office of the Or San Michele Church, or, if you prefer, online at our website as well, ItalyGuides.it. Besides the traditional tours, There are other fascinating things to do, like the secret paths visit inside Palazzo Vecchio 4 times a day, with the possibility of seeing rooms that are normally off-limits to the public. You'll often have to buy a ticket to enter many of Florence's churches. Access to the Duomo is free, while the Bell Tower, the Dome, and the Baptistry have 3 different entry tickets. If you're courageous and want to try the hike, Giotto's Bell Tower and the 464 steps to Brunelleschi's Dome will test your athletic preparedness. It usually takes 10 to 15 minutes to get to the top, and since the route is often a tight squeeze and dark, it's not exactly ideal for claustrophobics. But the stress and difficulty are soon only a memory, and you'll be well rewarded by the exceptional view from above. Finding a good place to stay in Florence is easy, even if not particularly cheap. Deciphering the different kinds of places that offer hospitality is somewhat like getting lost in a labyrinth. The offers vary widely. Hotels, historic residences, pensions, rooms for rent, bed and breakfast, hostels. The denomination and number of stars are based on the services each offers. Before booking, however, make sure that the hotel really does provide everything you need because, for example, despite the name, many bed and breakfasts don't serve breakfast. An excellent solution could be to go a little outside the city if you have a car at your disposal and find a hotel or an agriturismo immersed in the countryside. Naturally, other more economic solutions exist like hostels, or for groups and families, the convents with their clean Spartan rooms, although some of their rules are a bit rigid. One final detail to keep in mind is that looking for a hotel in Florence could be a little more difficult than you'd think if you don't know about the city's double numbering system. The red street numbers indicate businesses, and the numbers in black or blue on a white plate indicate private homes. So be careful because a red 10 does not necessarily mean it's near a black 10.